Hello, beautiful humans. Welcome to the SHEnanigans podcast, where we bring the human back to small business. And because we can have conversations anytime, SHEnanigans is happily supported by WCTV and their podcast studio here in Wadsworth, Ohio. Today's guest is the owner of Transition Consulting and Coaching, and someone who has been a friend to me since the very moment it was suggested that we meet for coffee and wisdom. Cathy is a queen at Business Boundaries who enjoys her couch time, her book club, her life with her husband and daughter. Shout out to all the moms who raise one human, high five. Please welcome my resume writing buddy, Cathy.
Hey, let's chat away. Small towns, big dreams in the fray. Grab a seat, come on, stay. Community shines bright.
Okay, hi, Cathy.
Hi.
How you feeling?
Good. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for
It's exciting.
coming and having fun with me. Have you done a podcast?
I did pre-recorded stuff a while ago, and I'm old. So I did video when I was working at Tri-C
Okay.
quite a bit.
Okay.
But I don't know if I've ever done an actual podcast.
Okay, so this podcast is like an homage to my favorite podcast. So for those who recognize pieces and parts, it's because I borrowed from the Hollywood, the people that are doing it on the best kind of level. So we're going to do an icebreaker.
Oh my gosh.
Hence the iceberg,
The
okay?
iceberg. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
We're going to break the ice. So you're going to
ready.
open, we're going to break the ice. We're going to get you podcast ready.
I'm ready.
I don't know. Well, this I borrowed from Hot Ones. Do you know Hot Ones?
No.
Okay, they eat hot wings and do an interview.
Okay. Got it.
So you're going to open the iceberg.
Okay.
You're going to pick a piece of candy for you and I to share, and then we're just
Okay.
going to give it a little bit of, feedback.
I'm intrigued by what's in these little things. Pop Rocks watermelon. I love watermelon.
Okay, do you want to do Pop Rocks?
I have a funny story about watermelon.
Okay, so while
Should
you're
I put the
popping
lid
the
back
rock-
on?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll cut it
Oh,
open.
how classy you have scissors. I was just gonna like rip it open with
Do
my
it, rip
teeth.
it, get it. Yeah.
Right.
So far it goes.
So I'm eating Pop Rocks. here.
Okay, so I will count us down.
Okay.
We will do the Pop Rocks.
I'm not shoving the whole bag. I'm
You don't
eating
have
them
to.
out of my hand.
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
And then I'll count to 3. I'm going to shove them in my mouth. And then
Okay.
while they're popping, I want to hear your funny story.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Set, go.
Go. I actually really love Pop Rocks.
Oh, what a memory.
Oh, they're starting to pop.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is funny. So we travel a lot, my family, and my husband and my daughter obviously are my favorite travel companions. Mm-hmm. I can't forget mentioning my mom either because we do a lot of travel with my mom too. But so Lucinda and I, we used to have this thing that we would do, and we would go down to Easton Mall.
I put a lot in my mouth. Sorry. I'm
Okay,
listening.
no, that's good. And I'm going to have like a second serving of the Pop Rocks.
Okay.
So we went down to Easton Mall, and we do preschool shopping. So we
Okay.
would go down in
Oh, yeah.
August, and we would I'd be like, you have this budget, let's see what you want, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So I think she was in middle school when this happened. So we went to Easton. It was hot. Oh my gosh, it was such a hot day in August. And we stayed overnight at one of the hotels right there. The one right by Trader Joe's. I don't remember which one it was.
Okay.
But on the way back to the hotel, I was like, I'm dying of thirst. I need to stop at Trader Joe's to get something to drink. Mm-hmm. And so I got watermelon water.
Okay. Okay.
And so,
I don't
drank-
think that's a thirst quencher, but okay.
oh no, it was delicious.
Okay.
It's like a watermelon infused water.
That's true.
It's
Okay.
delicious. So fiber and water. So, so I drank some, and then I put it in the mini fridge overnight at the hotel. And then we got up the next morning, and we were like getting dressed, getting ready to head out, whatever. And then Lucinda's like, oh, do you still have that watermelon water? And so she grabs it out of the fridge, and I was like, you have to shake it. And I didn't realize the lid wasn't on very tight.
Oh.
And so it was like one of those Downy commercials. She started shaking it, and watermelon water went flying everywhere. And I was literally in slow motion jumping across the bed. No! And so it was a whole thing. We have a lot of things. So I'm often likened to Lucille Balsey. I'm digging in for a
dig
second
it.
serving.
I actually think that was the best way to go because it was very hard for me to, one, pay attention even even though I did and was interested in your story.
Yeah.
And to hear you as
Yeah.
they were popping. And then, you know, when you are a little kid and you shove them all in your mouth and then they kind of make their way in your throat.
And then you're like,
and I was like, wait, I immediately
you're
regret.
like, I'm a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have these things that I call my Lucille Ball moments. My whole family
Oh, and that was one
calls
of them.
them my Lucille Ball moments.
Oh, I like that. I like the way of thinking about
yeah.
that.
I'm
That-
a little zany like
Your
that.
story reminded me of a whole bunch of other things, like, you know, because that's just how my brain works. And the one I
Yeah.
was thinking about is when this one time Jeremy left Pop in his car
Oh, yeah.
in the winter and it
Oh,
exploded.
it froze, yeah.
Correct. And then he
Yeah.
just went to work. And as he was driving to work, it was melting and like dripping
Oh,
all
no.
over him. Yeah. Yeah. That's what that made me think of as far as like the. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I just want to give you also, I brought you here to give you some kudos.
No.
Yes.
Oh, you're going to make me blush?
Yes. Get it out of the way.
We're going to do the mutual kudo then.
Yeah. Okay. Mutual
So,
kudo.
yeah.
So She Did It is about to turn 7.
I know.
And you were one of I think you were the second person
So excited.
I met. It was Janie to you.
Mm-hmm.
And from that point forward,
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's
Yeah.
like a sisterhood.
We were at Sonnets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just this very easy, I don't know. And we've never been able to put a finger on it. I don't know the
No.
explanation, but it was very much just like, I like you. I like you.
We are spirit
Okay.
sisters.
Yeah.
We bond.
Yeah. And I love you because I feel like whenever I meet you, you bring me down a notch. Because I feel like She Did It is this, you know, hyper, and I like to be a community uplifter, booster upper, and all of those things. And I want people to see how easy it is and make them feel comfortable. If you want to be a little extra and unique, it's okay.
Yeah.
So it's always comforting when I meet up with you and have coffee with you, because I feel like I get to like calm down a little bit and just have
That
conversation.
means I'm boring?
No.
No.
Just the
I'm
nope.
which
That's
is
not
so
what I'm
funny.
saying, world.
Which is so funny because I consider myself the spazziest person on so many different levels.
Really?
Yes.
Like it's probably all internal though.
yeah,
But
it's
I
very
consider
funny.
myself the spazziest person on the outside.
Maybe that's how we get along.
It could
is that
be.
our spazzes meet?
They do, and they like kind of overlap each other.
Well, I remember when it was at Sonnets where we sat down and we had coffee, and I just thought you were so interesting.
Oh.
And to this day, you are just one of the most special people in my
thank you.
life. And
Aw.
I love spending time with you. We don't get together terribly often. You know, we're lucky if luckily we run in the same circles in terms of our professional world, so we get to see each other.
So we get to give hugs. Oh,
Yeah.
Kathy, hug. Okay.
Exactly. And I mean, but you have such great energy.
Thank you.
And it's like, no, I can't say enough. You are so special.
And I think your human is a compliment to the energy. That's what I mean. And you said it way more eloquently than I did.
No.
You're not boring. I think that you.
No, I'm joking.
Okay, great. Okay, thanhanks. I don't know. I just feel very comfortable when I'm with you, and I don't think
Likewise.
I don't think growing up, like friendship wise, I didn't have a lot of people. No shade, sorry, people in my life that would be like, hey, that sweater doesn't, you know, me, and you are very much. If I ask you a question, you're like, this is how I feel. You're just straight shooter. And so I think 7-ish years ago almost when I met you, I was like, oh, what a breath of fresh air.
Oh.
Somebody that's going to cut through it all and just tell me exactly what she feels about. And so insecure I was starting a business, lost in
we're
the woods.
all like
Oh,
that.
my
We all
Lanta.
have this inner dialogue.
Yeah. So I really needed
yeah.
you. So it was really
No.
perfect when Janie was like, you have to meet Kathy. And I was like, okay, no expectation, didn't know what was going to come out of it. We did work together. We have shared some work. You have helped me.
Yeah, feeding Medina County. There's been other stuff. for
Yeah,
sure.
but at the end of the day, and you're right, we don't see each other quite often. And when we do, it's a special amount of time.
But it's just like picking up, and there's certain things that I just mark as occasions. And for example, you and I doing the Athena Awards together.
Oh.
That was like
That was
such a special moment. And when I found out, when Tara called me and she talked, she's like, guess what? You're getting the Athena Award. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then that's, I felt really honored. And then she said, and I said, who's the young professional? And she said, Jenny Young. And I almost lost it.
I know.
I was like, I'm getting shivers
I just got
now.
goosebumps
I'm
too.
getting shivers. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't share it with anyone better
I know.
than you.
And it was
in
funny
terms
because
of
I
that.
couldn't even explain to me what that meant, that it
Yeah.
was you.
Yeah.
It was like serendipitous. It was like
Yeah.
the universe. It was a gift.
Yeah.
It was, you're still on the right path, keep going. And it was just so crazy because the way that works is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the community picks, correct?
They have a panel of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that
you
a
get
panel of-
nominated, and then they have a
Yeah.
panel of people.
a
I'm
pa-
eating more Pop
Go
Rocks,
for
by
it.
the way.
Rock it out. Pop
It's
it
like,
out.
I don't need all this sugar watermelon, but it tastes good.
I mean,
So,
it's Thursday. It's the end of school year, which really doesn't mean much to you anymore.
no, well, it does.
Yeah.
But we'll
doesn't
talk
it?
about that,
Doesn't.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
So the fact that a group
Yeah.
of people who didn't know that on a different kind of level outside of business, we equally feel the same, and we have this relationship is what it is.
and I have to say, I said something to you the other day.
You did.
We went to the Matchwits fundraiser,
Yes.
and I saw you there.
Yes.
And I was in line. We were at the bar, of course.
Yeah.
And so I said something about, it's like you're a sister to me, like a little sister.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I hope that didn't offend her afterwards, because I was like, I think of you as like my groovier, cooler younger sister.
No, I
Like
actually.
I totally, like I was trying to think of some kind of TV characters, sisters, or movie character. It's kind of like
I'm gonna go because
if you reverse the ages, you're Lorelai
Oh. Oh.
and I'm what's her face, Rory.
Oh.
So like
What a compliment.
I'm the serious, like, I don't know.
No.
People often accuse me of being too serious.
No, I appreciated that.
So-
I actually thought about this morning while I was, kind of racking through things in my brain.
Yeah.
Because I like this to be very fluid. I don't want it to be very businessy, although it can be like, oh, let's talk about how we met each other. But I was like, I'm
Oh,
so
no.
glad she
Yeah.
put a label on that, because it's true. It very much feels like you feel like a sister of
Yeah.
sorts, like a wise old, like, not
And I
old.
kinda- I
said
watch
old.
you.
I didn't mean it like that. A wise owl.
I am older, and I don't want to
But
make
I'm
this about
older.
work either. No, but it's like I am definitely turning a corner. So I am very into, and I'm going to talk about work just for one micro
Go for it.
minute.
And you are allowed.
And I
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
I don't want it to be. This is
Yeah,
fun. So,
yeah.
And work is fun too. Don't get me wrong, people.
See,
Work
yes,
is very fun.
yes.
But it's kind of, so there's 4 stages of career in people's lives.
Okay.
And I am definitely into 4th stage.
Okay.
So, and it's generally the last stage, and it's just a different vibe, right?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm kind of watching you in this 4th stage place, and I feel like you're sort of second cusping into 3rd stage.
Thank you, because I was
And-
going to ask where you thought I was.
And I see, generally speaking, it's divided by decades. So 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50. So I've just outed myself. I'm 55, which I am thrilled about. I got to tell you, each decade has gotten better in my life.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I kind of watch you, and I see the stuff you're posting, and I see the projects you're working on, and I get really excited for you.
Thank
and
you.
I was like, I'm watching and seeing you do all this stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
While you're on your couch.
I love my couch.
I know you do.
Okay,
While you're on
so
your couch. But also, your thought, correct me if I'm wrong, is probably, I love that for her. I'm sort of over that. Is that part of 4th stage?
some of it, yes.
Okay.
So
Not in a bad way, because
no,
we love the community
right.
and things we serve.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I cannot imagine. There's a story about that too,
Okay.
but I'll get to that
Okay,
later.
I'll remember
so
that.
yeah, put a pin in
Pin,
the
that's my
community
pin.
thing.
Yes,
So
okay.
and that's going to be our conversation for the whole time today.
I know.
So, not that I'm over it, but just it means something different to me now. And I'm still in growth mode with my business sometimes, not always. There's a lot of other personal stuff that's getting woven in. Obviously, we sent my daughter off to college last year for her first year. I'm in the middle of a kitchen remodel right now, which takes more time and attention than sometimes you would think. And I feel very bougie saying that, but
You're allowed.
it's,
I can't wait till the day that I read you.
yeah. And you can come over and see my kitchen when
Okay.
it's done. But 4-stage generally is marked by making meaning and giving back.
Okay.
Those are sort of the earmarks.
So what's 2
4-stage.
into 3? Because
So-
I feel like I hit that gear shift
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm on like cruise.
Yeah.
I can make decisions. I can make moves and changes.
I'm going to say you're a little advanced too.
Okay.
So 2.
Tell my mom that.
Yeah. Well, what's her name?
Terry,
Terry.
I'm advanced.
Jenny is advanced.
Thank you.
So,
I think she knew that. She
oh,
probably
that's
did.
Jenny is advanced. Anyway, so 2 is about getting into your groove. So
Okay.
you sort of find your career, and then you start skills building.
Okay.
And 3 is about advancement. So you're
Okay.
already into 3, well into 3, because you've got a really established reputation now. But it's about picking up more skills. It's about doing stuff
Yeah.
to make your career.
Yeah.
So
Can I lay a truth bomb on you? It's still
Please
very
do.
hard for me to hear when you say really nice things like,
I think
What you just
everybody,
said.
I don't know, people get uncomfortable
they
about
do,
that
but I
stuff.
also just try to thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
therapist would say, just
Just say thank you.
But I just want to tell you, like, ugh, like it made me want to be like,
like-
don't say that about me. So tell me the community story.
Okay.
Do you remember where we were?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And now I can't remember what I was going to say, because this is what 55 looks like.
We
So.
were talking about how we enjoy what we do in the community, and we would
Oh,
never, yeah.
So every once in a while, so ever since I joined my first nonprofit board when I was around 22, I was one of the founding members of an arts organization board in Cleveland Heights.
Oh, I don't know if I knew that.
And so, yeah, I was their first board president. I did strategic planning for them. I did a bunch of stuff. But anyway, so I've been doing volunteer stuff for a really long time. And although I have to tell you, I am surrounded by people, you included, that do so much for your community. But part of me just can't imagine like living someplace and not being involved like that
Yeah.
in an organization or being involved in, community groups or whatever. Like every once in a while I joke with my family. I said, I wonder what it would be like to sort of go out and just be anonymous.
Yeah, not care. And so I think also you kind of, when you go on these trips with your family, because like you, my little triangle is also my
Yes.
favorite kind of
Yes.
trip people.
Yes.
So when we go to different communities and you see the different level of like downtown, for instance, I mean Medina or Wadsworth, and you see the different levels of how into their community they are. At the heart of that, that it cannot happen that way
What that
with a
takes.
serious amount of dedicated people.
Yep.
Who are volunteering their time on different levels to be on committees and boards and those kinds of things.
Yep.
So, and you can tell the difference when you go to the different cities, and you can't help but walk around like, oh, good for them.
Yes.
And for me, I'm like, what can I steal and take back to Wadsworth?
You're so good about
Yeah.
that.
And I
You are
also,
so good
like,
about having.
When we're in the car driving to the next spot, I am generally, quite honestly, sitting in the car like, let me find their community. Okay. And then I'm going to leave them a review and I'm going to tell them, because I know
Yeah.
how hard it is to get a whole bunch of people together to make a decision.
Right.
And then on a city level to get them to agree to these things that, cause you to close the downtown down, have hot air balloons, do all these fun things
Right.
that
It
make
takes a
town
lot.
unique. Yeah.
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 It takes a lot.
Yeah.
So.
So then the other thing we were going to talk about that I made a mental note about was we bond about only having one little human to raise.
Yes.
Which is very kind of rare. Jet actually just told me that he found out recently he is the only one in his class that has no siblings.
Lucinda had that happen a couple times in her classes.
Yeah, I asked him, I said, how did that make you feel? Did you feel kind of left out? And
Yeah.
he was like, no.
Yeah.
Was
No.
she very much the same? Like, no, thank you. I like
She's
being
always
alone.
been super independent. I
Yeah.
think I've had, and I don't know, this might be a surprise to her to hear me say this if she listens to this, but
I hope she does.
I hope she does too. She rarely talks about it, and she has friends with bigger families that she goes and gets her group time And then she is very, as we have talked about before, like Jet, she is very self-contained, self-driven, loves to read, does not have a problem entertaining herself. And I'm talking, for those of you listening, I'm talking, she is now, my human is an adult now by definition.
Yes, I know.
And she's turning 20 next month.
Oh, that's...
No, not next month, July.
How do you feel? That's a big number.
I'm fine with
Okay.
it. Yeah, it's just Mason's like every single era gets better and better.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and
good to
she
hear.
is just, I can't say enough about just the awe I feel around her sometimes about the person.
Oh, yeah, that you made.
That she is.
Yeah,
and
that you
she's-
made.
She's
You're like-
becoming, okay, so I think that I did okay with motherhood.
I think you're good.
I
Yeah,
think,
you
you
made
know,
a good human.
Mason, you know, is a biologist. So we have the, you know, nature, nurture,
Uh-huh.
you know, so there's all kinds of things at play.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I treasure is the friendship, the true friendship that Lucinda and I have now.
Yeah.
And, you know, that we are able to do stuff. We do just crazy stuff together. We just took over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we went to Memphis to visit a longtime friend, a friend that has been a friend for almost 50 years.
Oh, really?
And
Can
her
I-
daughter.
Did you even like remotely go near Elvis's house?
No, so we've done the tourist thing there
Oh,
before.
you have?
Yeah, they live.
Not to segue, but I love some Elvis.
No, they
Okay.
live outside. They live about 20 minutes
Oh.
east of Memphis, 30 minutes east of Memphis. So we've done we've done the bouncing
Oh.
around. I got to tell you, the MLK site is
Oh, really?
just, oh my gosh, it is. I can't even. I'm speechless
Yeah.
now.
Did you see the movie? Was it called Selma?
Yes.
Selma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that on an airplane, and I was sobbing on the
You-
airplane. I
I
think
would-
on my way to Hawaii.
I would highly recommend Memphis
Really?
to visit the civil rights and the MLK
Oh.
site. They have preserved the motel room where he was shot.
Really?
I'm getting chills again in exactly the way it was that morning.
Oh, really?
And it is, it's just,
I'm
it's
ashamed to say I never thought about that as a trip.
It's indescribable.
I
mean,
I forgot about to include that. Like I was so. I
No,
love
it's-
Elvis.
I
but-
know that you
but
love
you're not.
Elvis, yeah.
But you're also right. We love stuff like that. Like, you know,
yeah, I know.
so very much. So I can't
Yeah.
even believe I didn't like link the two together. So thanks for reminding me.
okay.
Well, now we're going to Memphis, everyone.
So Lucinda and I just have some really zany times together.
I love that.
So I have to tell you about something that I think you would really love, and
Okay.
it's not a big thing,
Okay.
but I feel like this is totally a Jenny thing.
Okay.
So south of Cincinnati,
Okay.
when you're in Kentucky,
Okay.
on 71,
Now I'm trying to guess if I've done this.
on
Okay.
71 before you pull into, so I'm traveling north on 71 before I
Yes.
pull into Cincinnati.
Yes.
There's a town called Verona.
Okay.
Yeah, close
Okay.
enough.
Yes.
It's so it's so funny because I was talking to someone yesterday who just got back from Verona, Italy, and it's like, funny thing you should mention that. I just went to Verona
Me
too.
too.
Verona, Kentucky.
Verona,
okay,
Kentucky.
So I'm
Okay.
doing a total plug for this place. There
it.
is right off of the highway. There's a stop. We had to get gas and we had to use the facilities, and there is a stop. It's called the Hoppy Frog or something like that.
Not
It's
to
hoppy.
be confused with the Hopping Frog here, right? Brewery?
No, not
Okay.
a brewery.
Okay, the Hoppy
Total
Frog.
like gas station, mini mart,
Ooh.
bathroom.
Okay.
But I did the gas. Lucinda went inside. I go inside to use the bathroom, and she comes out the door and she has this look on. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you have to see this." And I was like, "Okay." And so she's like, "There's a red button on the wall that says, 'Whatever you do, don't touch this.'"
Well, and so duh.
Yeah,
You're like,
right?
mm.
Okay, so I use the bathroom, and then I get out, and I was like, "Oh, I'm touching that."
Yeah.
Because she told me what it was.
Yeah.
So then when you're in the stall, you look up and you notice there's disco balls hanging from the ceiling.
No.
So you press the button,
You're right.
and you get like a dark 30-second
Stop it.
disco ball lights music experience.
While you're taking a urination. Or after?
After.
Oh.
It's outside.
Well, could
it's outside. You can't
hit the button,
well,
run
you
inside
you
and be
could.
like,
Yeah, you could. It would be fast.
Okay.
But and yeah,
Oh,
so
whoa.
this young woman like opens the door before I press the button. She's like my daughter's age, and I say, "Don't freak out. I'm going to do something." And of course, like this lady saying, "You don't freak out. I'm going
Outside
to
the
do
bathroom.
something." And she's like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And then her mom comes in, and her younger sister comes in, and I press the button, and they were just, oh,
Yeah.
and it was the best thing ever.
oh, you're right. I would love that. I'm going to write that down.
It
I'm going to.
was the best thing.
I'm going to tell the
ever.
family, we're going to take a road trip, everyone. I'm going to book a hotel
Yeah.
specifically to go do that.
Well, go to Cincinnati and
Yeah,
just
sure.
go across, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can go.
sure.
I don't know if you and Jeremy like bourbon, but you can do a little bit of the bourbon
Yeah.
trail. Or
And you know I love a good Airbnb, so there's probably something
You are so good at that.
strange out there. Yeah. I do admire your relationship. So having a boy is a little bit different.
yeah, absolutely.
And he is not quite as I'm going to go over in the corner and entertain myself. He is more of like, I would like to sit down with the adults and let's talk about things.
well, that's
Yeah. But I always tell him like it's my goal. One day we're gonna be friends. Right now I'm
Yeah.
annoying mom. He's 10.
But we went through that too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's in.
well, good.
And I feel like our houses are the same, and this is no judgment. This is not meant to be sounding snarky to anybody else, but
Yeah.
it's like we've just never dumbed it down. Like when we have dinner, we
Yeah.
talk about
We've
all
talked
kinds
about
of
this.
things. We talk about
Yeah.
politics, and you're the same way.
We've talked about
so-
this, yeah. Which
Yeah.
is why I love when we also sit down and we get
Yeah.
to talk, because it's not all the time that I can sit down and have a conversation with somebody who understands on all of the levels what it means to consciously choose to raise one human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, and also we're in transition. I'm struggling a little bit more than you are. You're like celebrating. He's leaving elementary school.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, no big deal, Mom. Don't hug me, Mom. And I'm like, dude, I have one of you.
Is
I get to do this-
tomorrow the last day?
Yeah, they do a clap
Okay.
out.
They do a clap out.
Yeah,
okay.
I never had a clap out. I love that.
Yeah.
Did you? We literally left.
Oh
never
no!
looked-
Did I remind you that I'm old?
Yeah,
we
sure.
headed out the
Maybe
door.
I'm old, too,
We
and we
headed
just-
out the door. And we
Yeah,
were
like,
like,
peace
"Woohoo!"
out.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little bit nerdy, so we did come back like that Monday and help her pack up
Yeah.
her room and
Well,
you
that's-
know,
but
hang out with the teacher. a
That's
little
not
more.
nerdy. That's just polite.
Okay, polite. I'm like, I'm a total nerd. Let's hang out. Yeah.
So tell me about the hard part.
Just that I get to do it one time. But
Mm-hmm.
I've probably told you, me and Jeremy talk about it all the time, that I'm very present. I know it seems like to the world that Jenny's probably on her phone all the time. It's
I
just
don't
a
think
well-oiled
that,
machine.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
don't think that at all.
the cogs move and I'm like, they probably think I'm so annoying.
My
But
family probably thinks I'm on my phone all the time, and everybody
See?
else thinks I'm present.
See, everyone has their own thought on where they think they are in the world. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm working on it. But no, but I'm like hyper, like, okay, we're gonna really remember what was the weather like today, you know? And Jet's like,
Yeah.
why? And I'm like, well, because one time, dude, I get to do it one time, and then we are forever moving forward.
Yeah.
There's no again. You don't have any little siblings. I have 2 nieces now. I just had
Yay!
a new little-
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I do get to watch someone else do it, but.
I get it.
We walked to school every single day. We were telling him, like, you don't understand. We're not going to see those dogs in the window every day. We're not, those little jokes that
Yeah.
we've made since kindergarten. Jack gets mad. I make Jeremy do the butt dance because it's annoying. And it's so
I
funny
love
to
it.
me. And I just lose my mind laughing because it's so opposite of who my husband is. And Jet does not know that side of him. Like, your dad would never do this. But because he's a dad, he is doing
Right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just,
It's
the permanent forward
It is, and
movement.
I think part of it is I protect myself a little because I am so nostalgic about stuff that I could like go into the college was hard.
Yeah.
That was the preschool when I took her to preschool and college.
Yeah.
I sobbed
Yeah.
both times.
Yeah.
I think when we dropped her off at school, I got to 57. We got off of 76 and got on 57, and there was construction on 57 then. And I said, oh, I'm thinking to myself, I need to remind Lucinda because this is the way she drives to dance.
Oh.
And that's when it hit me, and I
and you were
started
just
bawling.
But
But so here's one of the things that I do. I used to journal all the time, and I'm not so good about it anymore. But for important days like that, I usually try to carve out
oh, that's cool.
like at least 10 or 15 minutes to jot down memories
for
from
you
that
or for
day.
them, and for future on.
For me.
Okay.
Oh, we had definitely have an understanding that my journals will be burnt.
Oh, okay.
If I go first, I was
Yeah.
like,
Burn
Mason
party.
and Lucinda, you are responsible for burning my
Fahrenheit
journals.
451. Burn it. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody needs to know that.
Oh,
So no, it's
yeah.
more for me, reminding me. I tend to do that on, we went to Ireland in March, and I tend to do that for trips too.
Oh,
like
good
I
for
just
you.
take one page. And I did make a photo book for Ireland because I said we took all these amazing photos, and I didn't want them just to sort of sit on my camera.
Correct.
And then, but I take one page and just write down all the moments.
I like that.
Just fun, like little
Yeah.
memories. Like we have all kinds of inside jokes,
Yes.
Lucinda sang Galway Girl by Ed Sheeran, and like with a jaunty little dance to go with it.
Yeah.
At like every opportunity when we were in Ireland.
Yeah.
Which it still makes us laugh.
Yeah, and you talk
yeah.
about. So two things that I do. I don't write, and I would love to steal that, but I feel like it's kind of like lost opportunity now. So I
can do it
I
whenever.
could, but then I would have to go back.
No. It's about start where you are.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good to start where you are.
Start where you are.
All right. Well, I'll try to remember that with all the other stuff I do. So I do a Shutterfly book, and at the
Yeah.
end of every year, I
Yeah.
take all of the photos. They're mainly jet and family stuff. I don't a lot of times put a lot of friends, or there's like no she
Yeah.
did it friend
Yeah.
photos in there. I do that, and that's every single year. I mean, I've done it. The first year of his life was every single month, which is a heck of its own thing to like make a book of. But in the first year of their life, there's 40,000 photos.
I totally get it.
Yeah, and it's funny because the older he gets, obviously he's less inclined to have me take his photo. I have to threaten his life, like put a smile on your face right now.
Start to have.
Yeah, it's like
the books
the
get
book
skinnier
is so
and skinnier.
small. I don't have to pay for extra pages.
Yes.
And then the other thing that we started doing is we made a space in our basement for winter. There's nowhere to go, and it was inspired by a really cool Airbnb that we went to after Christmas a couple years ago. So in the beams, I have started printing out one photo that represents each unique trip we took or place we went to.
Love that.
Like, be it Motown's on there,
Love that.
to Iceland's on there, and with a big black marker, I write like the year. And so there's like 4 beams full of stuff.
Will you take a picture and send
Yeah,
that to
send it to
me?
you.
Because I just want to see what it looks like. I am really fascinated by people who mark their trips like that. 'Cause this is something that we share in common as well, is that we go a lot of places, and you guys go a lot of places. So my neighbor. Oh, and by the way, I scrapbook,
Yeah.
but I got to kindergarten and then sort of petered out. So I literally have bins
Petered
of
out.
stuff
Oh, yeah. Oh,
stacked up in my
know.
office. One corner of my office is the craft part.
Yes.
And I have bins of stuff
I have
stacked
a
up.
literal
Like,
scroll in the
yeah.
kitchen of like to-do lists.
Ugh,
and
that
on
would
the
stress me out.
No, it's just like
to
a
have it right there.
ever-going reminder. It's usually big projects, not like do laundry.
Okay.
But on the scroll, one of the big projects is organize photo bin.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my neighbor, she does this really cool thing that Medina is like the start point, and she does a string
Oh,
with pins on a
love
huge
that.
map, and it looks really cool. It's art.
Yeah.
And then they
Oh, I
also
love
do,
that.
they've done strings out from places, and they take special photos, and they're surrounding the map.
Oh, where does this live?
In their sort of family room,
Oh.
front room.
Because we've talked about, I've seen in an ad or something, the United States, and then you can slide a photo
Yes,
that
yeah.
represents. That's kind of where I stole the idea from. I'm like, well, I've been thinking about this for years. I've never bought the frame. I have never seen it since. So why don't I just make my own? And that was kind of where
Yeah.
yeah. So
I collect, when we travel, I collect, depending on where we are, 2 things. So I collect magnets.
Me too.
Our refrigerator is covered.
Do you have a rule for them? Like, so
No.
people will buy me magnets when they go, and I'm like, that does
No,
not count.
that doesn't count. I have to.
You have to physically
No.
go there.
There's,
Yes.
I think there's been a couple that my parents have bought me when they've traveled,
Mm-hmm.
but besides that, yes, it's us. So magnets, because it's easy too.
Yeah.
You can just slide them in your
Uh-huh.
luggage, no problem. And then if it's a really cool place, I am very into, I think you'll know what this is because you're an artist, but sort of the WPA style posters for like the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
It's
I
very
think I do.
stylized.
Yeah.
So we have those for the Blue Ridge Parkway, for
Oh, yeah.
Lake Michigan, Lake Erie.
I think there's a
we have
ca-
them for the Grand Canyon.
Is there a calendar or something?
I
There's
don't
some sort
know.
of, okay,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
But very
later.
so my whole family room has framed pictures
Oh.
of the posters. I have, so if you go to Nashville, there's Hatch Studios that does all the printing. We have a Ryman poster from Hatch Studios. I like collecting. I just like the
Yeah.
visual reminders
Yeah.
of all the places we've been.
I do too. That's what my magnets. My whole side of my fridge is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I love you and I know that you are so honest with me and you're going to tell me, and
Oh
before
my
we wrap
gosh.
it up,
Oh.
I just want to know honestly what you think about the idea of sitting down and having a podcast that doesn't talk about business all the time. Like this idea of
love
what I'm
it.
trying to dive into
I
people as being a
love
human.
it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I've listened to many of them.
Okay, yay, thank you.
And just been fascinated. And it's just, we're all people. We are not just business.
Giving
we
advice
are
all the time,
all-
talking about, yeah.
And just, we are all, I mean, and frankly, I've spoken quite a bit out in Medina to different groups. It's like people have heard my professional story.
And that's why I wanted to ask, because I know you know what it's like to tell over and over again your professional story, or
Yeah.
ask or be asked your professional story over and over and over again. And so for me, I was like, well, why would I do that one more time?
Well, and that's not throwing shade at
Not
anyone
anybody
who
at all.
is doing it.
Because I do have friends
because-
that do it, and they're doing it perfectly.
And I love the platform.
Correct.
In fact, there's somebody who keeps popping up in my inbox that I need to get back to about doing it.
I might know who that is.
I think you do know who that is. But and I really enjoy this person. I think that he's doing it very, very well. I've just been late. I'm very bad about following up on some
I don't
stuff.
think you're bad at it. I think you're perfect at your boundaries. Just like I said in your intro, you're like, I know how I feel. This is how I feel, and I'm not into it right now. Whereas if somebody asked me, I'm like, whew, okay, how can I fit this in my schedule without, because I have a very hard, I've always had a very hard
still-
cutoff at like 3:00, especially when I
Yeah,
started my
with
own
the
business,
kids,
because
yeah.
that becomes jet life.
Yeah.
But I try to squeeze it in and
Yeah.
make people happy and like, let's
I
do it.
still do that. Oh, trust me. So I generally, one of the things about work is that I tend to not do face-to-face client work on Fridays, and I work on my projects.
Yeah.
Also because I like doing things like grocery shopping on Friday because I don't like grocery shopping on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's-
But these are the
it's
things.
scary.
No,
grocery shopping on Saturday is scary.
It is. It's like a little war of like, give me that
It is.
bread.
Well, first
Yeah.
it's the parking lot.
Yes.
And then it's inside the store.
Will I have a
So-
cart? Do I want the cart I want? No, I get it. But those are the little things when I first met you that you would tell me you did, and I was kind of like, oh, aha, you can make up your own rules about your own life.
Yeah.
You don't have to be
I figure
9 to
if I'm
5.
going to be self-employed, I want to make it work. And
Mm-hmm.
part of that work has been both structured around Lucinda. I'm going to say something that's slightly unfavorable. It might be misconstrued the other way, but I really enjoy being a wife too.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy, there's things I like and things I don't like. Obviously, I don't like grocery shopping. We've already laid that
Right,
out.
yeah.
But I like taking care of stuff at home.
Yeah.
And Mason has always had the long commute. He goes to Ashland every day. So I don't mind most days making dinner.
Yeah.
And I really like to cook.
Yeah.
So like I like certain things about just making sure that the house is where we need it to be and
Your safe space. You've
tracking,
created-
listening.
yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but I think this podcast, circling back to your original question, who knows if anyone's going to listen.
Correct. I don't.
People are going to be like, Cathy Posner, well, what does she have to say?
I know what she has to say.
But
That's why I asked you.
my point being is that it's just you and I. It's another excuse for you and I to get together.
Correct.
I am not performing. It's like
Yeah.
we would be having pretty much the same conversation if we were sitting
Face
at
to face.
Marigold.
No, yeah, correct.
Like we would literally.
I
Although
like-
we would have our phones out because we would be comparing books.
Yes, we'd be like,
That would be the
what
next
book?
thing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother when this ends.
We
I'll
could,
be like, what
we
book are
could
you
talk
reading
for
now?
like hours on end.
what book?
We've always threatened to do that getaway. We still need
I
to
know.
do that.
I think about
Yeah.
it sometimes. There was a location,
The
Chippewa
overnight
Lake.
that little house
That
on
little
Chippewa
house.
Lake,
I-
which no one seems to take ownership of.
No, and I've looked for
I
it to try to
know
book
it's
it.
the mystery house. If you know who's in charge
We
of the
want to
Chippewa
stay
Lake house,
there.
we want to stay there.
Yeah,
So.
we just 1-2 nights. I always envision like it's snowy.
Yeah.
I don't know, for me, it's like snowing.
It's fine.
for
It's close
us.
enough. We don't have to worry about getting there in the snow.
Yeah, and I'm like,
So-
oh, it's like snowing outside. She's got a book, and I've got a book, and there's hot chocolate.
And then we're going to make really good food, and we're just going to hang out.
and then be like, "What'd you read?" And you're gonna be like, "This is what I read."
I just had a moment of dawn
Okay.
in my head, and maybe this is something about why we connect so well. You know that my roots are in photography.
Oh,
You didn't?
I don't think I did.
My
that.
undergraduate degree is in photography.
Oh, really?
And I was very fortunate to go to a high school that had a very robust photography program.
Oh,
And so I took photography for 3 years in high school, and then I went to college, and I wanted to do something else. And I was going to do mass media and advertising. I realized I couldn't stomach that. And I have a degree in painting and photography, but
If we
mostly,
talked about that, I do not
mostly
remember.
photography. And maybe that's part of the reason. Maybe we see the world
it's totally different.
a certain way.
I see it. It's
Maybe that's part of the
yeah.
bond.
Yeah, maybe that is. The
I have to
bond.
show you some of my photographs sometime.
Okay, I would love that.
You'll have to come over because I do have one of my favorite photographs is of an image, a reflection of the house that I grew up in, and it's on my mantle.
Oh, really? That you took?
Yeah, we had a big arch
Oh.
over the driveway,
Yeah.
and it's the shadow of the arch, on the neighbor's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I do have to come over.
And my favorite camera that I used to shoot with was a Brownie camera that you had to tape for it to be light tight. It uses 120 film,
Yeah.
the bigger format, so
Uh-huh.
they're square photos when you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, we digress. Okay, I really hate that
we digress.
we digress.
What else is
See,
new?
this is actually
What else is
this is
new?
a very great example of what happens to us when we meet. Well, oh, that's so great.
Total stream of consciousness.
all the time. I hate that I have to end the podcast. It is not you, it's me.
I feel
have to-
treasured and honored
Okay.
to be on here.
I'm so happy that you came on here, and I'm
Yeah.
so glad that now
So
we have a
excited.
forever memento of exactly what it's
So
like
exciting.
when we go to Marigold and we're like, so what are you reading?
That's right.
And then we don't answer the question, and we
We
start
talk about
talking
something
about
else.
Something else.
That's so funny. And I got to eat Pop Rocks.
You did. All right, let's go out with a bang. Ready?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, last of
All
them.
right.
Oh, mine are
Well,
actually stuck in the bag now.
Mine too. This is how we're gonna end
I'm
it.
gonna, yeah.
Right, fade to black. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Pop, pop.
Delish.
I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.